Welcome to Tips and Tricks from Twin Busch. This video focuses specifically on the electrical connection of a lift. In this case, basics of the supply up to the lift. Especially for lift models with 2.2 kilowatts 230 volts drive motor, there is a relatively high starting current when the motor starts up. And it must be protected accordingly in the sub-distribution or in the fuse box. There are a few indications to consider. There are screw-in fuses, the so-called Neo-Z systems. And there are circuit breakers. A fuse insert goes into the screw connection of a screw-in fuse. There's a value printed on the fuse itself. In this case it's 16 amperes. They are generally slow blow, which is required for a lift with 230 volt drive. And then there's the so-called circuit breakers. They are usually used at home, installed as B16 breakers. In this case, the letter B represents the tripping characteristic of the circuit breaker. It is at its limit when a lift is operated with it. Due to the high starting current, which is produced briefly, a B16 breaker could be tripped. And then the lift is out of current. There are C types for such cases. C16 is written on it then. C would be the tripping characteristic, slow. Ideal for the lift in this case. If you have a problem during the commissioning, verify the following. The lift turns on. You want to lift up, the control light turns off, the power is gone. Check which circuit breaker is installed in the sub-distribution or in the fuse box. If you determine you have a B circuit breaker, then change it for a C circuit breaker with 16 amperes. If you have screw-in fuses that trip, it could be that there's another value printed on the fuse. You could find an S next to the 16 amperes. The S stands for quick, actually the older version. If you have a lift with 400 volt drive current, meaning 3-phase current, then it's no problem. Just pay attention if you have screw-in fuses. It could happen that only one fuse trips when there's any problem. Then 2 phases would still be active and the lift could be damaged because of this. Ideally, if everything is renovated, a 3-phase circuit breaker is installed. C16 440 volt model. No matter which phase has a problem where, it would trip and it would turn off the other 2 phases. This would be the ideal requirement. In terms of cable cross-section, I generally recommend a cable cross-section of 2.5 square millimeters for new wiring. It depends a bit on the cable length. If you have short paths toward the circuit breaker or toward the fuse box sub-distribution, 1.5 square millimeters would also work. But it's been confirmed, when there's a cable reel or an extension cable in between which is not perfectly dimensioned, then at least the supply up to the outlet where the lift is operated, or a permanent connection, should be 2.5 square millimeters. That would be all on the topic of electrical connection. Basic requirements for the supply from the fuse box to the lift.
Bis zur Hebebühne.